I found out my boss was stealing my ideas when a client accidentally CC'd me on an email praising his innovative solution. Great news. We're implementing your brilliant social media strategy immediately. The board loved how you transformed our feedback into exactly what we needed. This enthusiastic email wasn't meant for me. Paired, I was accidentally CC'd when it should have only gone to my boss, Richard. The problem, the brilliant strategy they were praising, was 100% mine. The presentation Richard had apparently given that morning contained my original research, my analytics, even my personal anecdotes about platform algorithms, part all presented as his work. For 3 years, I'd watched my marketing ideas mysteriously appear in company-wide emails with Richard's name attached. Each time I'd mention feeling overlooked, he'd say, "Mank, success is what matters, not individual credit." That's how corporate America works. Zoe, I believed him because this was my first job out of college. I thought maybe this was normal. Parent, your boss takes credit for your work, and someday when you're a boss, you'll do the same. The toxic cycle of corporate America, right? But seeing that email perder, actual proof that Richard was presenting my work as his own perder, something snapped. I'd spent weekends researching that strategy, testing approaches on my personal accounts, even interviewing industry contacts on my own time. This wasn't just teen success, parent, this was theft. I forwarded the email to my personal account evidence, took a deep breath, and walked to Richard's office. He was grinning at his computer, probably reading the praise he didn't deserve. "The client accidentally CC'd me," I said, holding up my phone with the email displayed. "He would. How they think you created the strategy I showed you last week." His smile vanished. "Zoe, you don't understand how these relationships work. Clients want to hear from leadership, not junior staff." "I understand perfectly," I replied, surprising myself with my steady voice. "But here's a difference between delivering my message and claiming it as yours. Look," he sighed, leaning back in his chair. "I mentioned you were on the team. That's how this works. I've been doing this for 15 years, then you've been doing it wrong for 15 years. His face darkened. "Word, Zoe, I determine your performance reviews, remember?" That threat turned to so casual, so Namai's parent clarified everything. This wasn't normal. This wasn't how things work. This was exploitation. "Actually," I said, "I'd like to discuss my performance with Clara." Clara was our department director, Richard's boss. "She's too busy for this nonsense," he scoffed. "Let's find out." I turned and walked straight to Clara's office before I could lose my nerve. Clara listened intently as I showed her the email and explained the pattern. Instead of dismissing me, she asked, "Do you have documentation of your original work?" Thankfully, I am obsessively organized. Every project lived in dated folders with revision histories and notes from my initial concepts to final deliverables. "I'll need time to review this," Clara said. "Thank you for bringing it to my attention." I was certain I'd be fired for causing trouble on day 4. Clara called me into a meeting part with Richard and the HR director. "We've reviewed the situation," Clara began. "Richard has acknowledged that proper attribution wasn't given for Zoe's work." Richard stared at the table, jaw clenched. "Moving forward," Clara continued, "all client presentations will clearly indicate project contributors, and Zoe will be presenting her own work to the Thompson account next week." I nearly guessed. The Thompson account was our biggest client. As we left the meeting, Richard muttered, "You won't last 6 months presenting to clients. They want experience, not enthusiasm." 6 months later, I was promoted to senior strategist, managing my own team and clients. Richard was reassigned to internal projects only. The most valuable lesson wasn't about marketing strategy. Parent was learning that how things have always been done isn't the same as how things should be done. Your work has your name on it even when someone else tries to erase it. Women in particular, document everything, know your worth, and never let anyone convince you that having your ideas stolen is paying your dues. That's not corporate America, Parenta, that's corporate theft.